All right, today we are going over algebraic equations, as we talked about earlier, which means we're actually going to solve some problems. Okay, let me just get my computer organized here. Here we go. We'll hide these. All right, so let's just go ahead and start, and we'll talk about it as we go. Okay, so we're on the first problem that talks about 6 more girls than boys in a class. Is everybody with me in their notes? Because I don't quite see everybody with me. So let's make sure we're all on the same page in our notes, please. If your notes don't match this, then you need to figure that out. Okay. Ashlyn Mason, could you read that out loud for us, please? I bet you guys can tell me right now. How many? Okay. How many girls are there? 18. Okay, let's draw a bar model for that. We're going to practice drawing a bar model for when our equations become a little bit more difficult. So we've got boys and we've got girls. So we've got how many boys, class? And we've got how many girls? Right, 12 plus 6 or 18. Okay, and we want to know how many girls there are. Actually, let's label these boys. Let's label these girls. And we said there are 18 girls. Is that easy peasy lemon squeezy? It's pretty easy. Is there another way we could draw this model? We could draw a comparison model if we wanted. We would do that like this: boys, 12, and girls. Ooh, I didn't draw that really nice. I don't like the way I drew that. Let's do it like this, where this is 12 and this is 6. I still don't like the way I did that. And we would draw the question mark right there, and we're going to be consistent and put the B over on the side. All right, so you can do either one of those, but I kind of, well, who likes the comparison model better? I kind of like it better. Yep. Okay, so let's keep going. Our next question kind of builds on that. And it says, if there are 6 more girls than boys in a class, there are 6 more girls than boys in a class. If there are 30 children altogether, how many girls are there? Okay, so let's go ahead and draw a comparison model again. And we're going to figure that out. I'm sorry, who's got their hand up over here? I just saw a hand and then it just disappeared. Okay, you guys have a couple methods in your notes. And I'm probably going to have you just pick one. Let me just grab my notes too. Where can I put them? Oh, there they are. Because sometimes having lots of methods is great, and sometimes it just makes things a little bit more confusing. All right. So method 1, you've got 30 minus all this stuff over on the side, and we'll talk through that. Okay, let's draw our bar model first. We've got boys. And we've got 12 boys in the class. We've got girls, and we've got that number. Plus we have half again as many, so we're going to draw it like that. And we've got 12, and then we've got another 6 right here. Okay, and then how many kids are in the class altogether, guys? 30. Okay, so let's draw that in over on the side. And what we could do is this method 1, we're just kind of walking through the numbers here. We could take that 6 off. And the reason we're doing that is because we can see that we've got 2 equal units here, right? Are these equal to each other? The 12 and the 12, right? Okay. If we didn't already know how many boys are in the class, and we didn't know how many girls were in the class, we could use this method to solve. So we would take off that 6, and we would say 30 minus 6 equals 24. And then we would divide that 24 by 2, and that would give us the number in our units right here. And that is obviously 12 in each unit. Are you following me so far, you guys? Okay. And then I would want to find out how many girls there are total. So I would have found out the unit, that there are 12 in the unit. Girls have 6 more than what's in the unit. And so 12 plus 6 is, thank you. Okay, so that's method 1. The reason I'm showing you this is because you'll be using this with variables. And so it's nice to be able to recognize that these units are equal. All right. Let's do it this way. Method 2. Go ahead and draw your bar model with me. It says there are 6 more girls than boys in a class. If there are 30 children altogether, how many girls are there? Now, do we know how many boys there are in this situation yet? Okay, so, but we know that girls have 6 more, right? So let's draw the girls bar a little bit longer. And then again, we have these units right here that are equal. And we know that everything equals 30, right? Guys with me? Yeah. We're using the same answer so that you guys can walk through this method and you already know the answer. But it says this time that let the number of boys be X. So we have an unknown number of boys, right? How are we going to find out how many girls there are if we don't know how many boys there are? Kylie?
30 minus 6.
Okay, 30 minus 6, and that was 24, right? Then what? So I've got 24, and what does that equal, right? It's these 2 units, right? Without this. Okay, so that's 24. Now what should I do next? Piper? Okay. Okay. Now what do I do? Rajveer? I do 12 plus 6, exactly. This is kind of the same thing, isn't it? As the last version, except that now we didn't have the information for the boys, so we just used X. But can you guys figure that out? That's pretty easy, right? So now I would do 12 plus 6 would equal 18, and there are 18 girls. What does X equal? What does X equal in this equation? Mira?
12.
X equals 12, exactly. Could we write an expression showing the number of girls for this? And how would we do that? Like, let's say that we don't know how many boys there are. Could we write an expression to find out the number of girls? How could we do that? Macy? No, it wouldn't be 30 minus X. Let's go back to this first line right here. First of all, let me back up. How many boys are there in the class in this example right here? How many boys are there? Go ahead, Macy. Okay, there are X, right? So it says right here that there are 6 more girls than boys in a class. We have X boys in our class. Declan, with me, buddy. How many girls are there in the class? You guys just like totally whipped through that algebraic notation review home sheet for warm up. You guys remember that? I did really well on that. This is the same thing. We're going to write an algebraic expression really quick. Okay, Lucy M. Yes, there are, but what if we don't know what X is, or we don't know what the total is? What's our algebraic expression? No? Olive? There are X plus 6 girls. That's our algebraic expression. If we didn't know that there were 30 kids in the class, we wouldn't have been able to solve that, right? So we could have also set this up algebraically. All right, you guys ready to practice that with me? How many X's do I have in my bar model? How many X's do I have total? Right. So if we're going to show how many total kids are in the class, how many X's do I have? Rajveer? What's that? No, I have 1 here and I have 1 here, right? I'm talking about for the total kids. Yeah. Let me erase this 24 so it doesn't. Okay, so I have 2x plus something equals 30. So we have 32 total kids. How many extra girls over the 2x are there? Ashlyn? There are 6. If I just wanted to solve for 2x, what would 2x equal? Just 2x. What would 2x equal? Uzziah? No, 2x would equal what? Not x, but yeah. I'll come back. McKinley? It would equal 24, right? We would take the 6 off. We wanted to just know what 2x was. Remember this 24 over here? Okay, this is the harder way, I'm telling you guys right now, but this is how we would solve it. You would subtract the 6 from both sides. That's what you just did in your heads, right? And you had 2x now equals 24. Do you guys remember unitary method from last year? Not so much, a little bit. Can I find out what x is right now, algebraically over here? What if I had written it like this? Oh, come on, computer. What if I had written it like this, 2u equals 24? Then what would I have done? Mira?
Times 12.
Well, 2 times 12 does equal 24, you're right.
Oh, you would have done
I would have divided both sides by 2, right? Instead, we're using x. Same thing, you guys. Give me a sec, 'cause I'm running out of room. And we end up with x equals 12. That would give us the number of boys, but then we would have to go back and plug it into our expression. X plus 6 equals 18. Okay, this is called balancing equations, what we just did right here. We're not actually going to do that a whole lot. Okay, but I wanted to walk you through it so that you can see what we do, because you guys automatically do a lot of what's right here, what I just wrote out. You guys kind of automatically do a lot of that. Like you would know to say 2x equals 24, but you might not necessarily know the rules about how to write that out. But I just wanted to show you, because that's how we would solve that algebraically. So you're not required to do that. All right, let's go on. And let's see, can I have somebody read this one for us? Hey, Stella, go for it. Okay, go ahead and read A.
If the second number is x, what is the first number in terms of x? Blah, blah.
Okay, so we know that we have 2 numbers, right? And one of them is 4 times as much as the second one. Okay, so let's draw, this is our first number, this is our second number. Which one is bigger, the first number or the second number, guys? Let's see, if the second number, the first number is 4 times as much, right? Yeah, so we need to draw this one bigger. And if it's 4 times as much, I'm going to go ahead and divide that bar model into 4. And I'm going to give 1 unit to that second number. Okay, let's all make sure we're taking notes. What is the second number called? Look back in your word problem, you guys. What's the second number called, Carter? Okay, so let's put an X right here. And the first number is 4 times that, right? Do we have a way that we could write that first number? We can't solve anything yet, but how could we write that first number? This is what I'm wanting right here. I should have put a question mark. Mira?
4x.
Exactly. That's my expression. Now I'm going to plug that into an equation. You guys can all remember that? What was the first number? 4x, right? Okay. Now, let's write that down so we don't forget it. 4x. Same problem. There are 2 numbers. The first number is 4 times as much as the second number. If the first number is 20, what is the second number? Now we know that 4x equals 20. Can I figure out what x is now? Let's just draw our bar model really quick. 20 is the second, or I'm sorry, the first number. And it was divided up into 4. How could I figure out what x is? I want to know one of these. Owen, what do you think? 20 divided by 4, right? Because 4x is equal to 20. Perfect. So we're going to divide both sides by 4. That's what you just told me to do. What is 4 divided by 4, guys? 1. X equals what?
1.
Well, no, I'm sorry. This is 1 over here. So let me go back for just a second. I confused you. What I'm showing right here, when we divided both sides by 4, now I have 1x, but we don't write 1x, do we? No. So we'll get rid of that in a second. But what does x equal? What's 20 divided by 4? Cameron? 5. Exactly. Let's erase that 1 so we don't develop bad habits. So what is the second number? Remember, my second number was just 1x. Morgan, the second number is 5. Great job. How are we doing? You need to wake up over there, sissy. Okay, let's do a couple Toyos. Do a couple Toyos. They're in your textbook. So on page 15. Actually, I'm just going to give them to you. So number 2 is the problem is 3x equals 15, and you're going to solve for x. You have a space in your notes. You've got 2 boxes where it says Toyo. Flip them over. It's on page 15, but I'm just giving them to you right now. So you don't even need to turn there. So let's just do this. And then number 3 is x plus 3. Don't look at the answers. X plus 3 equals 15. And you want to solve for x. All right. So I want you guys to start with a bar model. So you should have a bar model that looks like this for the first one. And you should have a bar model that looks like this for the second one. Okay. You want to solve for x for each one of those. When you're done, whoops, when you're done, go ahead and put your pencil down. Sophie? I just gave them to you. Who's ready with the first one? Cecilia, help me out. X equals, great job. X equals 5. Who's ready with the second one? Okay, Olive. X equals 12. Great job. When you are writing answers for equations, you always need to write the x equals or the y equals or whatever. Okay, you need to include the variable that you're solving for. Landon, do you have your hand up? Okay. All right, go on to the exit ticket on the next page, please. Go ahead and solve numbers 1 and 2 on that page. Yeah, you can write them in the boxes. I want you to try to include bar models if you can. Yep, x equals something. So decide, figure out what, solve for x.